I thought that I would try my new food stand and do my first video. I was thinking about what could I make, so first thing that I did was I grabbed some cashews and I soaked them. This is about, I'd say, a little bit between 1/2 and 3/4 of a cup of cashews, and they're soaking. I soaked them overnight. So I had that, and I looked in the fridge and I found my crimini mushrooms, and I pulled out the stems here, and here are my stems, and I found some parsley, and I have some garlic always, and I'm unsure about the onion. I might use a very light onion. It was a choice between that and a scallion. And then I have my Himalayan salt, some powdered garlic, some turmeric, and pepper, and I am going to make some stuffed mushrooms. So we'll see what that looks like. Well, I'm just going to throw it all together and we'll see. Alright, so I will remove what I don't need right now, and we'll start with our base, which are the cashews. And I have this fantastic, it's a little mini Cuisinart. I've had it forever. So rather than using the big one, we'll go with this. So I'm just going to drain the water off of here. And I'm going to get it as dry as I can, but I don't need to dry it off per se. So usually when I measure, if I put, if my hand is full with whatever nuts, for me, I know that's about 1/2 cup. So I'm going to start off with about 3/4. Now mind you, when I had these dry and they're raw cashews, prior to soaking them, it didn't fill up this much of the bowl. It was much smaller in my hand. So anyhow, cashews are in. We'll go ahead and blend that. Take a look at the consistency. Okay, so we know that we need some water, limes. I use limes a lot. I didn't have any, so I think that I'll use a little bit of water in order to, get a little bit moisture. Just put it in here. And please, folks, this is how I do it in my kitchen, so you're going to go and get my kitchen method. It should be the Nourished Kitchen. Alright. Alright. So here are my spices. I'll do 1/2 of the garlic, 1/2 of the turmeric, 1/2 of the pepper, just a little bit of the salt, and everything that I do is just, by taste. Some days I want something a little more salty, other days I don't. So don't sweat it, just do it to taste. Alright, so I'll get this a little bit more, the consistency needs to be a little bit more pasty. Right now it is still kind of, the consistency is a little bit too thick. But once I add the mushrooms, because the mushrooms have a lot of moisture, it will, it'll even itself out. All right, look at that. Can you see the difference? I hope so. I can try and bring it a little closer. Look at that. See what I mean? Okay. So we're gonna do this once more, and then we'll move to chopping. Look at that. Chunky, kind of peanut buttery. So that's done for us. I think that next what we'll do is we'll take some parsley. I love greens, and in the stems of a lot of greens, especially if you use cilantro, actually, the stems are wonderful. That's where a lot of your taste is from. For right now, because it's a mushroom and I want a really delicate flavor, I'm taking those stems off. All right, we'll do one more. The rest can go to the side. I'll just give it a light chop and then I'll throw it in, okay? Again, I'm just being a little extra careful because I'm going to be stuffing those mushrooms, all right? Doing stuffed mushrooms. I put that in. We'll start off, I'm a heavy spice user, so love garlic. That's done. All those stupid techniques, you know how they had garlic in a bowl and shake it and take it out, and I figure, you know, by the time you do all of that, you could have your garlic chopped. Plus for me, I like to feel the food, and you know, peeling something is part of the experience for me, I guess. All right, there is our garlic. We'll throw that in as well. I should actually have this over here so you can see it. Do I have enough room? That's what I wonder. All right, there's the garlic. Next, I'm going to take just a little bit of onion. I think that might even be too much. I'll take the insides because it's a little bit more tender. So let's call that a tablespoon, roughly, right? It's about a tablespoon. Good sized tablespoon. Let's test it. Yep. Here I am. So we got about a tablespoon of the onions. I'm going to throw that in there too. All right. I think that I'm going to need a little bit more water. Just so I'd say that we used maybe about a tablespoon to 1.5 tablespoons of water, maybe 2. So between 1 and 2. And I don't need a fancy spatula to be able to do this. All right, so we're on to, we'll do another 1/2 teaspoon. You can use any kind of liquid. You can use a coconut milk. You can use rice milk. You can use soy. Like I said, you can use limes. It's okay to not be sure because half the fun is, you know, just trying and failing. And I always think that if you go with your gut and you go slowly and you know, experiment, you're going to end up doing your thing. All right, so I'm going to chop these up too. And remember, these are the stems. I have a wonderful dish that I make. It's an all raw mushroom dish. Delicious. I might post that one. That one has, you know, soy in it, and it has some fish flakes in it. So yummy. All right, so I have my stems here. And what I'm going to do with these stems is I am chopping them finely. I'm going to take 1/2 of our cashew out. And we'll start to incorporate the mushrooms with the cashews. And I'm taking 1/2 out because I don't want to have too nutty of a flavor or too mushroomy. I just want to have a really nice balance. So, dish here. Now I will take my fancy schmancy spatula and I'm just kind of mixing it because it does get trapped on the bottom. But isn't this a lovely little thing? It's so cute. All right, just taking a little bit out. I'm going to put my blade back, my blade in. There we go. And who cares if you're messy? It's just you. And even if it were somebody else with you, who cares? All right, so mushrooms, I'm gonna call this, what, 2 tablespoons maybe? Tablespoon and a half of the mushrooms. That's what I'm gonna put in first. And I'm gonna start to blend. Alrighty, let's taste it. That's good. That's nice. It needs a little bit more garlic. I don't know. It needs a little bit more salt for sure, and I'll put some more pepper in. A little bit more pepper. And again, you season to taste, right? I'm always heavy-handed with the garlic. Period. My garlic and greens. All right, so a little bit more salt. What can I do with my lid? With my lid. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we have our nut stuffing. That's going to be ready to go inside here. So I have this crappy old little tin pan that goes into my toaster oven. Super simple, right? Everything that I do is simple with my cooking. So I really washed these well. I'm pretty particular about that. So I'm just going to line up my mushrooms. Now sometimes people would want to put oil on here, coconut oil, olive oil, and you can do that if you want to, but this has a lot of juice in it, and for me, I don't see any sense why I would put that extra unnecessary fat in there, because there's enough with the cashews. All right, look at that. It fits perfect. How many do I have? 2, 3, 5, 15, 17, 19, 20. So 20. All right, I'm going to stuff this now. I found this in my kitchen drawer, and it's just a 1 teaspoon spoon. And I think that'll work nicely for most of them. Get it in there. And you just put it on top. Now, if you wanted to have this dish taste cheesy, then you could add some brewer's yeast to the mix as you're, mixing this. Add a little bit of, well, that was a big piece of nut. Add a little bit of brewer's yeast to it, and you'll get that really nice cheesy flavor. That's one of the vegan tricks. All right, so there we have it. I will show you the finished product. I'm excited. I'm salivating already. Here we have the finished product, and it looks lovely. Let's take a look. Somebody's gonna love these little hors d'oeuvres. That somebody would be me. I like them a little crispy, so what I did was I put them in the broiler. It might not look fancy schmancy, but you can dress it up. Put that on there. Look, it looks lovely. Let me show you. We'll take this one, right? So look at this, and if I were to take this, this is the nut spread that we cooked. Where is that? Over here. Gotta try it. Delicious. Thanks for watching. Happy cooking. Stay healthy.